Peace, peace, peace. God is V here, deprogramming the stage. Hope everyone is doing well. So, I want to speak on this evening. I'd like to speak on these fake ass relationships, you guys. These scripted relationships of these celebrities, that I always speak about. I let you guys know it's all scripted, that they're tricking you all, that they're bamboozling you all, I know that a lot of people want to believe that these, these actors and actresses and, celebrities, sports players, politicians, stuff like that. I know people want to believe that their lives are real, that it's organic or that it's pure, whether it has drama in it or not. People really want, it's like people kind of live for, the entertainment or, the psychological programming or satisfaction, of other people's relationships outside of our own, you see. It's all programming on all parts at the end of the day, you see. Because, neither one of us has a lot to speak, right? Or a lot of ground to speak on people's lives in general. In general. What do I mean by that? I just simply means, first of all, we are natural judges, especially the matriarch, especially the indigenous women of this earth. It's a part of our job to make correction. Let's be clear about that shit. That's what we do. We don't have to, if we don't want to, just sit around idly like that and allow, you see what I'm saying? Our creations and our emanations to go to dirt, to just go to shit like that. So the fact that, people speak up about things, especially wicked shit, there's no issue in that. You see what I'm saying? Because you do, like I said, you have these celebrities out here. You have children and young people who think that this shit is real. So whether we understand that it's real or not, a lot of these young people believe that these relationships, these marriages, these families, and all this stuff, these couples and shit, hip hop couples and love and hip hop, whatever, you see, they're looking at these people thinking that these relationships and these setups are real. Therefore, going out into the world, you see what I'm saying? Using these templates, using the templates of these people as the basis or the relationship goals. You see what I'm saying? Of their relationships and or marriages. You see what I'm saying? Which is a tragedy. Because there's nothing, absolutely nothing pure or organic about celebrity relationships. Why? Because they're all scripted. I don't know why it's so hard for people to fathom this. Maybe because you guys don't believe that there's someone behind the scenes or behind the curtains telling these motherfuckers what to do. You see what I'm saying? And because a lot of these celebrities, they get on the world stage and you see what I'm saying? Some of them do a lot of, foul shit. Some of them do a lot of crazy shit. Some of them do a lot of shit that looks unrehearsed. You see what I'm saying? Right? Like it's all over the fuck. Like your girl Clarissa Shields with this whole Clarissa Shields and Papoose and all that shit. The more it's almost like the more chaotic these people are, the less people seems like they can fathom that this is a whole fucking show that they're putting on. Okay? Because that's what it is. I keep saying this. These people, these celebrities, man, are fake, man. They have, but you need, what's most important is we need to be clear as to why the elites do this shit. And, you know, they do it for several reasons, but the main two reasons they do this, guys, you see, when it comes to the people, because they have their own clandestine and occult reasons why they do what they do, even behind the scenes of these two reasons that I'm going to give you that they do this shit. Okay. One, and I think I mentioned this before, why they do that, why they give you these fake ass relationships. For one, to keep people occupied. Okay. If you're occupied and breaking down someone else's relationships and, you know, this team score, that team score, oh, what this person is doing, what this president is doing, what this mayor is doing, you know, what, you know, all these different things, right? You know, if we put our energy into that, you know, to them, that means that we're not really, you know, projecting our energy towards planetary dominion. You understand what I'm saying? Or soul healing. You see what I'm saying? Or really just, you know, going within and finding out and learning what it really takes to get to a place that most black people are still complaining how fucked up this world is. Gas prices is high, rent is high, all this shit is going on. So, you know, we know what we say is, you know, we blame it on the politicians. Oh, yeah, you know, they not doing this, they not doing that. All these laws and shit, you know, Trump this, Biden that, this, you know, Obama this, and all these different things, you know, all these fucking actors, these fucking political actors and shit. We blame it on them because it was set up to be that way. We blame it on them. You know, oh, they raising the rent. Oh, that's their fault. Oh, you know what I'm saying? They're only paying me minimum wage. Oh, that's their fault. You see what I'm saying? Hip hop is fucked up. Ooh, that's their fault. Like, you know, it's just like really, it's really nonsense at the end of the day because, you know, they give the masses these things. You see what I'm saying? But that doesn't necessarily mean that you have to follow that. You guys, you don't have to follow that. Like, seriously. None of us do. We can create our own lives without having to deal with these people. And even if you consider or you want to still deal with these people, meaning like government and all this other shit, the system, you don't have to let it overtake your life and be the number one thing that you're living for. Some people, if you take away money from their lives, they don't have one. Because money is the reason why they go to work. They get up every morning to go to work. You see what I'm saying? You know, parents pushing themselves to make sure they can send their children to college. You see what I'm saying? Making sure they can keep these days. Shit. You know, you just lucky if you could just pay your goddamn bills for the most part. The way the economy is, the way things are today, you lucky if you got enough money for the bare minimum shit out here. You see? You know? However, it doesn't have to be that way, is what I'm saying, you guys. It doesn't have to be that way. Because, you know, money is not the most important thing in this world. Okay? And although in this society, it's set up to be needed, at least we think, for the most part, it's set up to be needed. So it's understandable how somebody, you know what I'm saying, want to make sure, we want to make sure that our livelihood, you see what I'm saying, is taken care of. That's understood, right? However, the chase and the obsession of it, you know, shouldn't be the drive. You see what I'm saying? In our lives. Okay? It shouldn't be the underlying drive of why we get up every day, you know, to go out into this world. You see what I'm saying? And seek careers or, you know, seek, you know, different positions or, you know, relationships, things of that nature. It shouldn't be the driving force, you know, money and things like that and material possessions shouldn't be the driving force of the things that we try to, the things that we try to incorporate into our lives, goals, life goals and stuff like that. So with that being said, you guys, these damn celebrities, man, with, like I said, with their fucking fake ass lives. I keep bringing this up, their fake ass scripted ass lives, lying to the people, lying to the people. Like we literally have people who, and I'm not knocking any content creators, anything like that or whatever, or whoever report on the celebrities, things of that nature, whatever, that's fine. Hey, everybody gonna have to, secure their, secure the, what they call it, secure the bag or whatever the hell, we gotta make a living and shit. So no issues with that. However, when I see people actually are like overly concerned with these celebrities and what they do, to the point where you be having people on the internet crying over celebrities. You see what I'm saying? Like literally crying over celebrities, crying over their relationships and stuff, their failed relationships, getting really hot and bothered and stuff like that or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Getting all hot and bothered or whatever, by every little thing or everything that goes on in their lives, like being disgusted. Like, for example, like, the little girl, Miss Shirley, the boots on the ground little girl. You see what I'm saying? And her dumbass mother got this baby girl out here. You know what I'm saying? Having the industry to buy and pay for her own fucking daughter. You see what I'm saying? Exploiting her own fucking child for money. And this dumbass bitch act like she's doing something okay. Having grown men picking up her daughter and doing bookings at clubs and shit. Like, you see what I'm saying? Clearly she's grooming her daughter. Okay? Clearly she's grooming her daughter to be about that life. See, one thing about it, we can pinpoint the whack ass shit and the inappropriate shit that certain people do. You see what I'm saying? But when it comes to that shit being really evil, you see what I'm saying? For it to the evil intentions behind it all, we kind of put up a block there because we're like, well, no, oh yeah, she's wrong for putting her child out there, because you got some of you chicks out here don't see this lady exploiting her child as being wrong. You understand? These are the ones who get up on the internet talking about, oh, y'all some haters. Oh, how can y'all hate on a little girl? Y'all just hating because she's beautiful, because she's talented, and all this dumb, wicked ass shit. These people are demonic. These people saying this bullshit are demonic as fuck. Okay? There's no fucking way. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You people out there, whatever, who think it's okay for a mother to exploit her child, and the way this woman is exploiting her daughter, 9 times out of 10, no disrespect, I'm just keeping it real, 9 times out of 10, you probably were touched when you were little. Sorry, I gotta keep it real. All of you females out here who think it's okay for this woman to do this to her daughter, you probably were raped as a young person, or you probably were molested as a child. Probably. Yeah. Because there's no way in hell a sane mother, a nurturing, sane, protective mother would ever allow that type of shit. You see? So, even in situations like that, because I just wanted to be clear, not everything is when I say that these people have scripts, you guys, I'm not saying every single fucking person who actually is a celebrity or whatever, or a public figure, has these scripts. When I speak about these scripts, I'm speaking about the people who they put before us over and over and over again. The people who they give a lot of attention, right? And put a lot of focus on. You see what I'm saying? The people who they put out there shucking and jiving the most on the world stage. They stay in the blogs. They stay in the headlines. You see what I'm saying? They getting all the awards, all the attention, and this is going on. You know what I'm saying? All the drama, especially with these hip hop artists and stuff like that, with their shenanigans that's going on with these goddamn, these new hip hop niggas and shit. You see what I'm saying? Out here, you know what I'm saying? Gang banging on the internet, shit like that. All types of drama. Now, all of that shit is orchestrated. These little gang banging ass niggas and shit, these fake gang banging ass niggas and shit, little niggas, these little, they call them YNs, fake drama, orchestrated drama. That's why that's why they asses always get caught up. That's why they always get jammed up and trapped up. Because it was a script for them to get jammed up in the first fucking place. Let's be clear about that. The shit is fake. Now, let's just go ahead and get into the video. You guys, these relationships are fake, okay? And I've been checking out, just like everyone else, I've been checking out the Clarissa Shields and Papoose Remy Ma, because they're a hot topic. You see what I'm saying? They're a hot topic. And, they have a lot of people's attention, okay? Not even going front. They have a lot of people's attention. And because of that, you see what I'm saying? Because I see a lot going on around that and on different levels. You see what I'm saying? I have to speak about it because they're on the main stage now, like some fucking strippers and shit. You know what I'm saying? On the fucking pole. Because that's what celebrities are. That's what they are. They ain't nothing but some fucking hoes. In general, they some goddamn strippers on the pole, clapping their cheeks and shit, and spinning on the pole and shit. You see what I'm saying? On the fucking stage. Like the fucking auction block and shit. You know what I'm saying? Getting money ready to be sold. Like the fucking auction, like a slave auction block out this bitch. You see what I'm saying? I'm just saying. But don't get it twisted. I always have my ear. You see what I'm saying? To the streets. I always have my ear to these goddamn internet streets. Because my awareness is like that. I actually like to know what's going on around me. You see what I'm saying? But not every situation, and definitely not to the point where, where I'm actually believing their stories. And then it's no longer about, you see what I'm saying, getting rid of these motherfuckers and getting rid of these, or sidetracking these lying ass people, these lying ass celebrities. It'll be like, it's no longer, for me to engage more would be like, it'll be more like, emotionally invested in it. You see what I'm saying? As if it's real, giving our attention as if it's real when it's not. You see what I'm saying? Me personally, I give commentary and I use these celebrities as an example. I'm not interested in breaking down their lives like that unless I'm breaking down the codes, or unless I'm breaking down, you know what I'm saying? Their MK Ultra, or what they're being used for. What is their symbolism? Shit like that. I break that down. But they little script stories, I'm not really interested in, although I may refer to it. Because that's the starting point. Well, let me say this. That would be, based on what society is doing, that would be the starting point to start really looking into these people and figuring out what their actual role is. You see what I'm saying? For example, people don't call 50 Cent agent for nothing. You see? Okay? When you hear more than one person has been saying that shit over the years, even other rappers, other celebrities, they're not just saying this for a reason, for no reason, you say. There's something behind why they're saying that. And so most people will focus on the fact that, okay, well, oh yeah, look what this person said about 50. Oh, people, they hating on 50 and shit. You know what I'm saying? Niggas is hating. They just want to be 50. They just mad and all this other shit. But they'll totally, overlook what's his driving factor behind the shit that he does, or any other celebrity. I already exposed 50 Cent bitch ass in a previous video already. Okay. And his clown behavior. Okay. So again, when it comes to these damn, celebrities, okay, these celebrities, you guys, are put together. Like, you know what I'm saying? A lot of us are starting to see that now. And you know what? I even believe that some of you who still focus on their scripted lives, their fake ass scripted lives, I feel like a lot of you guys know too. You see what I'm saying? But you got to keep getting your money. You got to keep getting your bread. When the content creators who a lot of you guys know that this shit is scripted and that this shit is fake. You see what I'm saying? But you got a job to do. Hey, you can't hate on that. You can't hate on that. You see what I'm saying? You can't hate on that. Get your money. Like, I get it. But damn, there's a spiritual fee to pay. You see what I'm saying? If you don't address this shit on the level that it needs to be addressed to really nip this shit in the bud for real. These people don't come together organically like that, you guys. So you can't be out here giving them organic solutions or solutions that normal everyday people would use to maintain their relationships or conduct themselves as husbands and wives and parents and shit like that, business people. Because their relationships are contrived, forced. It's a gig. It's a job. They're put together in these industries. And at this point, it really should be clear to see. You see what I'm saying? There's reasons why they will put somebody like a Tiana Taylor with what's that light skin after she what's his name, Iman Shumpert or some whatever. After she broke up with him, she got with the light skinned cyborg nigga with the green eyes. They not together anymore or whatever. I guess nobody wasn't buying their script. You see what I'm saying? You see, because she had her first script was with the the imam dude or whatever, right? You see what I'm saying? Because, hey, she had to make her sacrifices. She had to bring forth her two vessels into this fucking shit. I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I'm just breaking down to you guys the infrastructure on how this industry shit works. So some folks may get offended. Hey, don't get offended at me. Get offended at the people who are actually carrying this shit out. That's how that goes. I'm just a fucking messenger. So yeah, a lot of times these celebrities don't want to do a blood sacrifice, even though if that's what they want, and they send you out to go get it done, and you don't do it, they may do it any fucking way. But not everyone has to do that type of blood sacrifice. You giving your children up automatically to the order is a sacrifice. Okay? And the more children you give them, right, the higher in the ranks you are. And guess what else, you guys? In their occult world, the safer you are, at least for a time. You see what I'm saying? People like Rihanna, ASAP, people like that. Rihanna dropping the babies back to back, back to back, back to back, right? Whether she carried them or not, it is of no consequence, okay? But the fact that her DNA is bringing these children forth back to back, society will look at that like, oh my God, I love their relationship. Not Papoose, Rihanna and ASAP. Oh my God, I love their relationship. Oh, he is so loyal to her. He loves her so much. Oh, look at Riri. I love me some Riri. She's just about her kids. She keep having these babies. Dang, their relationship is good. Oh, he love him some Riri because yeah, he keep putting them babies up in her. This, that, and the third, and all this other shit. You know what I'm saying? Surface level type shit. And that's just the script that they want you guys to focus on. Meanwhile, they will never let you know, you see what I'm saying, that allegedly those are her sacrifices, and that she's an actual fucking industry order breeder. Yes. Rihanna is a breeder. A breeder. All of these celebrities out here dropping all these babies back to back. And don't get it twisted, because babies are a beautiful thing. Okay? A beautiful thing. A gift. I'm not speaking about it from that perspective, because there's nothing beautiful about what these celebrities do and what they involve themselves in and their children. At the end of the day, if you're a A-list celebrity and you know what the fuck you had to do, the abuse you had to take, the oaths you had to take, you see what I'm saying? There's surveillance, all of this shit you knew as a celebrity you had to endure and still endure, yet you have all of these children for the order, for the cult. Because they're going to use these children later. They're going to use these children later. Not everyone is taken out by drugs or, or made to be seen as some type of temporary, here now, gone tomorrow type of celebrity or whatever. Some of them, they don't want to just like fall to the wayside like that, because they have other uses. As I was saying in previous videos, different celebrities have different uses for these people in these orders. Okay. So, excuse me. So let's break some of this down, you guys. All right. Let's break this shit down. Listen. At this point, you guys, we should be knowing that the industry is satanic. Do you have people who come in who haven't taken oaths? Okay. Yes, of course you do. Especially in the arenas where you'll see a lot of people, like, especially like the actors and actresses and stuff like that. For example, like when 2B first came out, you see what I'm saying? And you had brothers and sisters out here, producing, writing, directing, and producing their own films. And people would call them cheesy, because I've been watching them too, like back in the day or whatever. You know what I'm saying? People call them cheesy, like, oh, 2B movies, oh, these is cheesy, these actors are terrible, stuff like that or whatever. But I mean, even though I know, we're living in this life. You see what I'm saying? And life is expression. And we find different ways and have different ways to express life. You see what I'm saying? And there's nothing wrong with expressing life through art and being talented and sharing your vision with the world. There's nothing wrong with that. And the fact that you have certain people who go out into the world, or whatever, and becomes a photographer or, a director or screenwriter, whatever the case may be. You see, on the surface level, I feel like that is a flex, because for so long, these other major film companies and shit like that don't give a fuck. Many celebrities been coming out telling y'all how they get no fucking respect. These actors and actresses. You got Taraji P. Henson coming out saying how she get paid less than a bunch of the other like men and Caucasian actors and shit like that. Like they just don't give a fuck. Not to mention the shit that you have to do to maintain your little fame. You see what I'm saying? So yes, it's a beautiful thing to see our people, put together their own films and things like that, instead of running up behind this fucking beast. Instead of running up behind this fucking beast, begging them for roles and shit. Letting them exploit you. And still don't end up getting too much out of that shit. So, do I think that every single person that you see on television, when you turn your television on, especially nowadays, right? Where you have a lot of independent shit going on. Do I think that all of them are involved? In the beginning, no. And I'm talking about the ones on the lower end. I'm not talking about these A-list celebrities and these plants. I'm talking about those who come, who set themselves up in a sovereign way. You see what I'm saying? independent filmmakers, people like that. And the actors and actresses who they put on. You see what I'm saying? Organic. And people like that, when they come in and they start doing their thing, but at some point, some of them do get approached. You see, some of them do get approached to, go to the next level, and maybe not continue to do any more of the hood type movies, the Tubi type joints, even though Tubi has, progressed a little bit in quality a little bit, right? But I'm just saying, a lot of these actors, you begin to start seeing on the big screen like that, in like bigger movies and stuff like Paramount, stuff like that or whatever, right? Well, around this time is the time where, depending on, it's levels to it. But at some point, if you want to have longevity in the game, and you want to get more connections, you want to be seen more, you want a bigger platform to showcase your talent or whatever the case may be, that's not free. You see what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, the point is this. They want control, and they want to be able to account for the finances of pretty much every fucking body, you see. So when you become a sports player, actor, actress, whatever the hell, right? Yeah, you can get your little money, whatever the case may be. You can get your little money. There are cases, they'll let niggas come in or whatever. They'll let people come in and stuff like that, and they won't let them. Like even in the NBA and stuff like that, NFL. There has been, it's very well known that there are sports players who actually been drafted or who actually came into the NFL or the NBA, right? Who did not off top from the rip sell themselves. You see what I'm saying? But there's reasons why they do. They're very strategic on how they do shit. And when I say they, I'm talking about the people who owns the media, who owns the big screens. You see what I'm saying? And all the platforms that your shit will get aired. So you could make all the movies you want to. You see what I'm saying? You can hit all the balls you want, dribble all the balls you want, and all this and that. But check this out. If you're going to be an international, if you're going to be a global sensation, you're going to have to use their platform. I don't give a fuck if it's YouTube. They got all of that shit on lock. And you can only get to a certain level without you, what they say, everybody say, sell your soul or whatever. You're only going to get to a certain level. You're not going to utilize their global stage and not be vetted and not be embedded. Let's be clear about that. They need to keep tabs on all of their fucking people, on all of their slaves who are using their platforms. They need to keep tab. And not only do they need to keep tab, they also have other assignments for your ass. Let's be clear about that. Because they don't give a fuck about your talent. You're not there. When they give you the platform, they don't give a fuck about your talent. They don't give a fuck. They're giving a fuck about, and it's not even about the money, you guys. Because they fucking make the money. Literally. It's not even about the money. It's about the wicked ass shit that you represent for them. It's about the agenda that they're using you for and to carry out through your movies, through your endorsements, through your radio time or your TV time or whatever the hell, or however it is that you are, you know what I'm saying? That you are harvesting loose for them. That's what they base that on. The more people and the more attention you can pull, the more valuable that you are to these people. That's just how it goes. Okay? So when it comes, on a satanic, ritualistic level, because we know these people are Satanists, okay? You see what I'm saying? These damn celebrities. They, at this point, you guys should be knowing this already, that these guys these celebrities are, these politicians and people are Satanists, okay? That they worship, you know what I'm saying? Even though, when it comes to Satan, we in the esoteric, those of us who have been studying studying esoteric studies and things like that, we know what the deal with what they call Satan, what that really is. I'm not gonna get into that, okay? But when I say shit like that, and I use this term, okay, whatever, I'm using it on a mainstream level. You see what I'm saying? Because the average person, this is to the average people out here, Satan is the devil, Satan is Lucifer, this type of thing, right? So, basically, these people, these celebrities, sports stars, politicians, whatever, their God is Satan, okay? Baphomet, you see. That's their God. I don't give a fuck how many times they say Jesus Christ, Allah, Buddha, whatever. It doesn't fucking matter. Okay? Doesn't matter. Shit, you got Bibles all up in the Catholic motherfucking church and shit. Bibles up in that bitch. Okay? With the Pope and all that other shit. Got a bunch of Bibles all over the place. Meanwhile, right under that bitch, they unaliving children. Unaliving children and abusing children in the name of Jesus. Okay? So on a satanic ritualistic level, the order, because that's what I call they motherfucking asses, the order, because that's what they are, the order. Okay? You know what I'm saying? The order, you guys, does not care about fucking dating when it comes to these couples, these fake ass celebrity couples. They don't give a fuck, because when they put these people together, they put them together for different reasons, you guys. And, they see how the masses and, or whatever react to these people, They don't give a fuck about family, dating, love, they don't give a fuck about none of that shit. These put togethers are intentional, right? They don't care about dating and love and real bond and real relationships and real marriage, okay? When they put these celebrities together, they're performing an alchemical marriage. This is what they're doing. Not a real marriage between two souls. You see what I'm saying? Dedicated, or, you know what I'm saying? Or moving through their lives together. You see what I'm saying? That, they don't give a fuck about that type of marriage. They fucking with the alchemical marriage, right? Which is the union of two different, how can I say this? Two distinct biological frequencies, you guys. Okay? Two distinct biological frequencies in order for them to create a third superior energy or frequency. Now, what the fuck does that mean? When it comes to these celebrities, you guys, in their occult world, you see what I'm saying? In their occult world, because the industry is satanic, right? In their satanic occult world, right? They bring couples together to gather loose. If it's a toxic couple, they're going to get negative dark energy from you guys, from that, okay? From that relationship. If it's abuse going on, that's loose. If it's high, if it's this high love and euphoric type love you think is going on, there's loose with that too. Okay? There's loose with that too. But when it comes to the relationships who they put before you, as if their relationships are good, like for example, the Russell Wilson, right, and Sierra relationship, you haven't really heard any scandals about their relationships like that. You see what I'm saying? As a matter of fact, they get a lot of respect on the surface. They get a lot of respect in their relationships. You see what I'm saying? but both active, both have mother and father in the home. On the surface level, you guys, man, woman, and man, woman together, they married, they raising their children, they had a family, they support each other. They not, they not all in the fucking blogs and all in you know what I'm saying? The tabloids, whatever, exploiting themselves with a toxic fucking relationship, doing this and doing that, right? So some people might say, oh, well, they're not a part of it. I guess they're not a part of it because they're doing good. No, listen, that's where people get it fucked up at. Because I guarantee you, the ones that, if you pay attention, the ones that are, the relationships that they bring together, especially the ones that are high profile, you guys, the relationships that they actually bring together that don't have drama. What do you notice, you guys? You notice that a lot of times, most of the time, not all the time, but most of the time, these relationships always tend to see, they always tend or seem to have, right, a bunch of babies or children. You see what I'm saying? They usually have like 3 or more children. You see what I'm saying? Typically. Okay, that's because they were granted to have this matriarchal and patriarchal position. Because loosh can be gathered from that. Yes, right? But they allow these people to give the aesthetic as if everything is all good and the relationship is all good and it's sweet and they doing their thing and all this and that, because they're actually giving them long-term usage by bringing these children in, because they're going to use these children. You see what I'm saying? To keep things going on. People in the world acknowledge the fact that this beast system and these certain so-called elites and everything that they plan generations at, you know what I'm saying? Generations ahead. They don't just think about, next year, this, that, and the third or whatever. When they lay their shit out, they thinking about hundreds of years from now, if not thousands. These people. They thinking way in advance. They do shit based on the future. Whether they here to see that shit manifest or not. It doesn't matter, because the entities that they serve will always be here to see it manifest. And the point is to make sure that they still have the consistent bodies of puppets that they can use to fool people. Let's be clear about that shit. Or to be leaders of people. It don't stop. It doesn't stop. Okay? So when I say that they perform alchemical marriages, what I'm saying is they bring these people together, this union, this distinct union. To them, it's just 2 biological frequencies to create a third superior energy. Why do I say superior energy when they bring a man and a woman together? Because trust and believe that those vessels, those children that they bring here, they are the ones that's going to inherit the advanced level of the programming, the advanced level of the technology and the programming and all of that shit. You see what I'm saying? Like, I'm kind of going out the, I don't want to sidetrack too much, you see. But this is how they see the fucking marriage. They don't give a fuck about that. Which is why the celebrities don't really give a fuck about it either. Like that. Okay? Meeting organically is a disaster. Okay? They don't leave anything up to chance like that, even though you think it is. Like, look at these video chicks, you guys. Not the video chicks. Do you guys notice, right, how they had a rapper girlfriends? Like the Des Dior's and was it Des Dior's and the Ari Fletchers and the Lori Harveys and Jada Waiters and all these type people and all these chicks like that. The super heads and all this stuff like that, right? You notice how. Do you guys notice how these motherfuckers, they always share the same chicks? Y'all notice that? Y'all notice that these celebrities, these rappers and singers and actors and sports players, you know what I'm saying? It seems like they retiring the same bitches. that they're is it not retiring, that they're actually like sharing and rotating, excuse me, that they're rotating the same bitches and shit. You see what I'm saying? This bitch Ari Fletcher and whatnot. How many rappers she was with? Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, all the women out here. You see what I'm saying? Why y'all recycling the same chicks? They do this because these chicks are embedded. Let's be clear about that, you guys. These chicks are purposeful plants set up. You see what I'm saying? Because they have been vetted out and embedded already. These celebrities, right, had to do, especially those who's like household names, they had to do some crazy shit, you guys. They got to do all these rituals. They had to do the homosexuality thing. It's a lot of shit that they have to do and that they are required to do. You see what I'm saying? They can't have the regular chick that was on the block with them. You see what I'm saying? Before they came famous, or they already famous, but they go to some hick town somewhere and find them a nice wholesome young lady and wife her up, and oh yeah, that's it. Are you fucking kidding me? No, they don't do that. Your ass have to be, if you want to be a rapper girlfriend, your ass got to be vetted. I don't give a fuck what they tell y'all, because I'll be damned if they risk an unembedded chick coming to a rapper or fucking actor and shit and spilling the beans about the rituals these motherfuckers gotta do. The rituals they gotta do and all the evil, wicked shit that they gotta do. You know what I'm saying? The men they sleep with, all types of shit. They can't leave that to chance. And the ones who do, that they say, that they claim, been with their girlfriends and wives and shit for all this time, like Snoop Dogg and his wife and Denzel and his wife and all this shit. Oh yeah, they came in the game with them. They was ride or die with them. They was day ones and all of that shit. They took an oath. They took an oath. That's what I'm saying. There's different areas of this shit. Because those particular wives, let's be clear. Denzel, let me say allegedly, that his wife and the rest of these fucking long-term got it from the mud relationships with these celebrities, right? They're embedded too. Believe that. Believe that. They signed all types of motherfucking NDAs themselves. Know that. They leave nothing to chance. Okay? You know what I'm saying? Another level of shit being scripted. More proof that this shit is scripted. They don't leave nothing to chance like that. At least they try their damnedest not to. You see? So meeting somebody organically like that is a fucking disaster. Okay? Because humans, you know what I'm saying? People unembedded or unvetted people in relationships, right? You see what I'm saying? Who might fall in love with someone whose DNA frequency, you see what I'm saying? Whose DNA frequency is incompatible is not a go. You see, it's not a go. All these people are vetted. Okay? So let's get into this real quick. Let's get into, listen, you guys, I think I'm pronouncing this right. The Helios, because I'm right now real quick. Y'all, I want to take y'all to the occult side just a little bit, nothing scary for all my Christians, stuff like that or whatever, nothing scary. I'm just saying, y'all need to know what's going on. All right. You see what I'm saying? You need to know what's going on. So, as someone who's actually studied this shit, you see what I'm saying? All this shit here, this occult shit, you have to. You have to study this shit. Because that's where the motivation lies and why these celebrities do the shit they do. Plain and simple. Okay? You have to study the occult. You have to study Satanism and shit like that and all of that. And how the system works. Okay? I'm just saying. Right? And in satanic ritualism, the goal is to merge for them. Right? The masculine and solar frequency with the feminine lunar frequency under a specific astrological window. Okay. Like I said, they leave nothing to chance. In the occult world, they call it, was it Hyros Gamos or Gamos? Eros Gamos. I'll spell that for you guys. That's HIEROSGAMOS. Sacred union of opposites. Okay. Now, when I say sacred union of opposites, we're not talking about, most of the time, if you are a A-list celebrity like that, most of the time you are inverted. Because that's one of the Baphomet, which is an inverted deity or whatever you want to call it, right? Half man, half woman, right? That's their god. Pay attention to that. Their little Baphomet is half man, half woman. You see what I'm saying? Half beast, right? They're showing you right there. This is their distorted, fucked up way of acknowledging the divine masculine and the divine feminine. Because, of course, you know, they want to be copies. They have to be copies. They stay jacking the great mother, the true prime source creator of all worlds and dimensions. They stay hating on the great mother. They stay suppressing the great mother, right? But yet they want to be the great mother so bad. That's why they have no motherfucking problems inverting their gender and men acting like women and women acting like men. They have no issues with that. Because their whole functionality is to turn everything upside down. Everything that the creator has emanated in this world, they take it, flip it upside down, invert it. You see what I'm saying? As a slap in the face. They invert everything as a slap in the face to the true and living prime source creator. Let's be clear about that shit. Okay. So, you know, and they little based on satanic ritualism for the industry, the goal, like I said, the goal is to merge the masculine solar frequency with the feminine lunar frequency under a specific astrological window. Okay. They do this through the children. They do this through the movies. When they do movies and they release the movies on a certain day. That's ritualistic. Okay. They're doing this based on an astrological window because they've studied the ethers. They've studied cosmology. They've studied things like this. Right. So they understand, you know, because they actually are the cohorts or slaves for these archonic entities that they worship. You see what I'm saying? They have to know, you know, where are the strongest grids. They have to know, you know, when the, you know, astronomical, you see what I'm saying? The astrological, you know what I'm saying, or whatever energy, right? When it syncs up, when it's the right time to bring in certain energies. Where's the right time and place to do these particular rituals or release these particular rituals or whatever the case may be, from their movie release, their albums release. You see what I'm saying? Or whatever, certain things that certain crises that they create. You see what I'm saying? That they create. Everything is astrological, right? To these people. They deal with astrology, Satanism, okay? Numerology, gematria. You see what I'm saying? This is what they deal with. So when you hear people out here talking about the numbers, oh yeah, you know, they'll tell you, you got people who read and stuff like that. They'll tell you about a sacrifice. And they're like, oh yeah, this is a sacrifice. See, look, it lines up. That's a 9 here. And they start reading you guys the gematria. A lot of people think that's bullshit. They think it's funny. They think it's conspiracy. They think it doesn't mean anything, that it's just jibber jabber and all that. Well, you know, that's great that you think that. You know what I'm saying? The more that you think it's fake, the more you guys hide, the more, you know, the better and longer they can hide what they're really doing. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, keep on, like, you know, not taking it seriously. They love that. You see what I'm saying? They love it. They love when you guys think that shit is crazy. You see what I'm saying? Or it don't mean nothing, or it doesn't have a certain level of power over people who can't fucking think for themselves. They want you to believe that. Okay. So, like, they'll pair someone. For instance, they will pair someone like Clarissa Shields, right? Like Clarissa Shields. Now, me saying this, you guys, right? I'm not dealing with what I'm getting ready to say. in this video has nothing to do with morals, so to speak. Has nothing to do with someone being some kind of special god or some kind of special person or whatever like that. Okay? Not from the standpoint that many people would think. So they will, and obviously have paired someone like Clarissa Shields, who in their eyes they consider a warrior, which would be connected to an earth, you know what I'm saying? A earth node. You see what I'm saying? Connection to the earth, being a warrior, a physical warrior, connected to the earth. That's a frequency for them. You see what I'm saying? That is usable. This is a usable energy and a usable genetics and DNA and a usable vessel that they can use, because they are able to pinpoint what this person represents in human form. So they'll have someone like a Clarissa Shields, basically, you know what I'm saying, to representing a warrior earth node. You see what I'm saying? And they will match them. They'll match them up with, let's say, somebody like Papoose, which, yes, they were matched up for certain. Okay. You know, they'll match her, someone like Papoose, who's the Logos. He would represent the Logos. You know what I'm saying? The linguistic handler. You see what I'm saying? The person who has the key, you know, to lock in the oncoming energy that controls these motherfuckers. You see what I'm saying? And easily guiding it into the person's consciousness and regulating the person's consciousness. You understand what I'm saying? So, you know, Papoose being, you know, a linguistic type of person, because, you know what I'm saying, and meaning that he's good with words. He's great with words. You see what I'm saying? Words, lyrics, shit like that. They use people like that. To them, a rapper who could spit like that is not just some fucking rapper who's skilled. They don't give a fuck about that, because you see Papoose, you know what I'm saying, the real lyricists out here, some of the realest, most dopest, talented lyricists never went platinum. At least, like, you know what I'm saying, maybe after a fucking decades of added up record sales, maybe. You see what I'm saying? But some of the most dopest, the majority of the most dopest lyricists in rap never got a fucking award. And probably never went fucking platinum or none of that shit like that. That just goes to show you they don't give a fuck about no fucking talent. They don't give a fuck about using your talents for anything except for their agenda. So they'll take someone like a Nas, someone like a Jay-Z, and I'm just speaking from lyrical terms. Someone like a Nas or a Jay-Z or a Papoose, they'll take people like that and use them as high-level tier 1 handlers, based on the fact that these people are linguistically gifted. They're gifted with the words, the gift, the gab, the words. You see what I'm saying? And like I said in the previous videos, they use them as training mechanisms for the slaves that they pair them with. Okay? They use them as training mechanisms. So in so many words, if you're good with words and you're a master lyricist and you're good with words, good, you got the gift of gab, you're good with mind games, words and all of that shit like that, you are perfect. You are perfect to tame a wild ass fucking beast like Clarissa Shields. Or a wild ass hood chick like Remy Ma. You see? When they hooked him up with Remy Ma and shit, his first MK Ultra, you know what I'm saying, assignment, right? When you know, K Slay and all that, when he first, you know what I'm saying, when they hooked him up, oh, you know, Master Mason, you know what I'm saying, one of New York and the Medina area, you know, rest in peace, you know, K Slay ass, he was one of their gatekeepers. He was one of the main gatekeepers for a lot of these fucking rappers that was coming out of New York, like in the late, you know, the 80s and 90s era. You see what I'm saying? Straight gatekeeper. Just like Jason Crutchfield is a gatekeeper for the boxing world. Coach Calvin, people like that are gatekeepers for like the boxing world and all that. Customato, people like that. Well, they got gatekeepers in all areas of their shit. Let's be clear about that. K Slay was a high level maintenance. I don't want to hear nothing about, oh, well, he was exposing these execs on one of his shows and shit. He was exposing these execs and how they were gay and da-da-da-da and all this other shit like that. Who gives a fuck? A lot of them did. It's a lot of these rap niggas who came out exposing the gay shit in rap. You know what I'm saying? You got some of the gayest niggas. You know what I'm saying? I'm not getting into it. You got some of the gayest niggas out here doing interviews about how the industry is gay. And they be the main ones and shit. You see? And some of these niggas are, you know, are given a pass to speak about this. Okay? So let's not get it twisted. Okay? All right? These people are fake as shit. They're fake as shit. You know, so they'll put someone together. You see what I'm saying? Who is a good linguist. Someone who can come in and manage and be like a firewall to all of their fucking, like in the case of Clarissa Papoose. You know what I'm saying? Them assigning him to Clarissa because she's wild as shit. You see what I'm saying? She's wild as shit. They got plans for Clarissa. She know that. They have plans for her. They have plans for her. Those plans are really, you guys, the reason why she's allowed to run around this bitch as a controlled sovereign. You see what I'm saying? While, you know, right now, Clarissa is, she's actually moving up, on the levels, not exactly, but she's moving up to the levels of even like where 50 Cent is. Now, listen, you guys, you cannot, this is deprogramming the stage here. This is my channel. We don't analyze the surface shit like that unless we're using it as an example. So when I say that, you know, they have her in a place where she's damn near about to be on the level of 50 Cent. What I'm saying is they have certain people that have certain jobs and functionings that they carry out. That's way more important than whatever talent that they came in as a celebrity with or whoever. You understand what I'm saying? So you come in as a boxer. Yeah, it's all good. Yeah, you know, we'll have you do this and that. You know, you a tennis player. Yeah, we'll have you do this and that. You know, football, whatever. Yeah, get out there, do that. Yeah, you could do this and that. But if these same people, if their astrology and their DNA, right? If they see that everything is astrologically and genetically in alignment, they would much rather use you for higher reasons. You see what I'm saying? Like bringing children. Okay? Like bringing children, or should I say vessels in the world for their entities, because their entities need fucking bodies. Let's be clear about that. Bodies where, you know what I'm saying? I mean, they're going to have their bodies, but they need what they're doing now with a lot of these celebrities. They need organic bodies. Strictly purposeful, focused, organic bodies who came into the world, right? Or I'm talking about the babies who are to come in to the world based on an already planned out script. You understand what I'm saying? Because most souls that come here and incarnate on this planet, right? Who incarnate on this planet, your soul already has, let's just say for lack of a better word, a soul plan coming here. How you carry that soul plan out You see what I'm saying? That's up to you, and you could do that or choose to do whatever, however you want to do it based on free will. But you do have a purpose. Believe that. Believe that. But what they do is they want to sidetrack, if not cut off, that purpose. You know what I'm saying? The energy, really, you can't get rid of the soul. You can't kill the soul to get rid of the soul. But what they can do is they want to suppress that shit to the levels where you can even no longer really detect the person like that, the true person anymore. You see what I'm saying? And if you can have, that's why I say these people are generational. And it's a lot of nepotism going on. Because if you have two controlled substances like Clarissa Shields and Papoose, right? And you have someone like Clarissa who provides the warrior DNA, the physical aspect of, you know what I'm saying? She's athletic. You see what I'm saying? She's an indigenous person, right? Female, whatever. If you want to say that, whatever. You see what I'm saying? They are attracted to Clarissa's genetics. That's why they monitored her all these fucking years. This is why they funded her like a fucking project, because that's what she is all of these fucking years. It's about her genetics, not her talent. Her fucking genetics. Let's be clear about that shit. Because the genetics is the reason why they vet you out. When they have all these goddamn children in these boxing camps and shit like that. You see what I'm saying? Trying to, boxing camp. They know these children go to the boxing camp and they practice and all this and that or whatever. They're not just, trying to have a community center for the downtrodden children and this, that, and the third trying to be, you see, they're not doing it really for that. That's just that's just the front. Not every boxing place. I'm talking about the ones that are embedded. The ones who are pushing out a bunch of these fucking famous boxers and shit. It's a pipeline. A Masonic pipeline, like I said before. Okay? So, So, yeah, they'll have these children, in urban areas and stuff like that, like Soul City Boxing Gym. Okay? Like Burston Field House. Okay? All right. They'll have these children go to these fucking gyms and stuff like that or whatever. You see what I'm saying? And then, certain ones, they keep an eye on certain ones. You see what I'm saying? They keep an eye on certain ones genetically because they are allowed to do this. The coaches who are set up, who are Masons, are set up by the order. You see what I'm saying? To make sure that they detect, especially the ones who have been through who has been through, you know what I'm saying? Like, CPS and, stuff like that or whatever. Children who are like foster children and have CPS cases and stuff like that, neglected children, abandoned children, especially the ones like that. You see what I'm saying? Because they all in on that shit. CPS is a fucking joke. Very satanic joke. Because they're the number one suppliers for MK Ultra children. Fuck out of here. For sex trafficked children. Okay? Number one's fucking supplier. Let's be clear. Alright? This is the type of shit they do. You see what I'm saying? Because they are looking for vessels, like I said. They're looking for vessels because they want to create that super soldier. They want to create that assassin. They want to create that banging ass football player, basketball player, this, that, and the third. You know what I'm saying? Or they want to use that person for what they represent, for who they are, to gather they loose, this type of shit. Or bring up in their goddamn Nephilim babies up in this bitch. Either way, this is what the fuck is going on. Either way. All right. Let's move forward. So by forcing these couples together, the order ensures that the loosh energy generated by their union is pure, you guys, okay? Is pure. And that it can be used to ground their, like I just said, their Nephilim heir. Because that's what they call the children of these celebrities. You know what I'm saying? Their Nephilim heirs. H-E-I-R. Let's be clear. Okay. And we all know that they're obsessed with the Baphomet. Okay. Which is the union of opposites. As above, so below with these people. You understand what I'm saying? On a satanic level, that is. There are a total mockery of the Most High. Okay. As always. You see what I'm saying? So when they put together a fake couple, they are performing a gender inversion ritual most of the time. Because like I said, not all, but the majority of these A-list and B-list celebrities are inverts, meaning they are men who were born female and female who were born male. Let's be clear. Okay? If you're an A-list celebrity, most likely, allegedly, this is what you are. I'm not basing this on conspiracy theory, whatever you say. I'm basing this on the shit that they do, on the protocol that they follow. And this is how you learn this shit. You know, you can't be out here denying shit, you guys, because it doesn't sound morally correct or accurate, or you can't ascertain why they would do this shit. They're following their fucking protocol. Their protocol. They're always going to stick to the script. No one person is bigger than the fucking program when it comes to these people. The fuck are you guys talking about? I don't give a fuck how famous your celebrity is, what kind of good athlete they are, and how good and pure you think they are. None of these fucking slaves, you see what I'm saying, is bigger than the fucking program. And this is key to understanding what the fuck is going on with these people. Y'all think some of these celebrities are special when they're not. You know, they put these gender inverted couples together. Okay. It's a lot of them too, you guys. It's a lot of them. You see what I'm saying? They might pair they might pair an inverted asset with an organic one, but only to neutralize the natural God frequency of the indigenous bloodline. You understand what I'm saying? I mean, do you guys get that? Sometimes they'll put an inverted access, meaning somebody who wasn't born, somebody who's presenting themselves as the sex that they're not. Okay. You see what I'm saying? You know, they're not all of them are inverts. They have been known to place one of their inverted, right? Or transgender. Let's say that one of their transgender celebrities. You see what I'm saying? They've been known to place some of their transgender celebrities in relationships with organic celebrities, right? In order to neutralize the natural God frequency of our indigenous bloodline. Okay? Because I focus on our people at the end of the motherfucking day. The superior bloodline up in this bitch. You see what I'm saying? Okay? They do this to everybody. And you know, that's on these levels. You see what I'm saying? But they love to use our people. You see what I'm saying? As some of their main super soldiers and some of their main subjects for different things based on genetics. Especially when it comes to stuff like, you know, sports and shit like that. Okay? Absolutely. And not just sports. You know what I'm saying? Our innate intelligence as well. And our and us being able to connect to the Most High like that. Still being connected to the Great Mother and still, and you know what I'm saying, us still having that connection with our ancestors. You see what I'm saying? And having DNA, you know, that they don't even fucking know how long, you see what I'm saying, we've been on this bitch. Because we have no documented birth record, unlike other people. Okay? So of course, if you want to keep life going in abundance, you have to make sure that you supply or you have You know what I'm saying? As much as they make they fake clones and all this other stuff they got going on, you see what I'm saying? They will always have to incorporate organic beings. Always. You see what I'm saying? People talk about transhumanism, this, that, and the third, and all that. Yeah, they'll have that. They'll have that. But ultimately, you see what I'm saying? The organic bodies, the organic presentation, you know what I'm saying? Even inside organic, as far as like organs, all of that type shit. And what's in the DNA, yeah, for their higher slaves. You see what I'm saying? This is needed. It's needed. But they have no issues replacing the original soul, or should I say suppressing the original soul with their apex intelligence. Okay? Which is what's happening for the most part. You know? They deal with different programs, but that's just one of them. Okay? You know, and the purpose they do this, you know, is people follow them like these people are, like these celebrities are, you know, the end all be all, but they're actually, they're committing biological blasphemy. You know, if that's a thing, you know what I'm saying? Biological blasphemy, really. Everything that the creator is, they're not. They glorify everything that's unnatural. Everything that's unnatural. And by forcing people into scripted love, you see what I'm saying? And you know what I'm saying? Like by forcing these people into like a scripted love, they are breaking the natural law of the creator and replacing it with the man-made law. Not just of these motherfuckers who on a higher level actually look like us a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Right? But they also have another, what they call a god. Right? And the new name of their god, or that god, is the Aladdin AI. Because that's the apex intelligence that they are aiming to put into all of you goddamn slaves out here. Those of you who don't know who the fuck you are. Already. You're good, you know, you're good meat, fresh meat for them. I'm just saying. Every photo op of these people, these fake ass celebrities they put together, like Clarissa Shields and Papoose. You know what I'm saying? ASAP and you know, Rihanna, Beyonce, Jay-Z, all these fucking flunkies. You know what I'm saying? For every photo op they have. Every breakup, every pregnancy reveal, all of this shit is a public fucking ritual. It's an assignment and a public ritual. Okay? And when millions of people look at these fake couples on Instagram, TikTok, you know, Facebook, whatever, right? Or the news or whatever, their collective consciousness is synced to that couple's frequency. Do you get it now? Let me say that again. When millions of people look at these fake ass couples on TV, Instagram, on the internet and all this shit, and on the news and every, you know, and all this shit, right? Their collective consciousness together, you guys is, us, we, our collective consciousness is synced. Is synced to that couple's frequency. So all of you out here who putting a little too much into these fake ass celebrities, you know what I'm saying? The hot one now being Clarissa Shields and shit and Papoose ass. You're syncing your frequency to that. This is what they ascertain. This is what they see. This is what they get. Let's be clear about that. Make no mistakes about it. It may be nothing to you. It may be nothing to you. But if you are not on a certain frequency, you understand what I'm saying? You will begin to feel the effects of investing your time and your energy and your spirit into these people. You see? You're locked in. You're locked and loaded with their into their shenanigans. And a lot of times we think that we separate ourselves from it because we are judging it and pointing it out and stuff like that. And that's great. We should. We should expose the shit. That's a given. But like I said, we should never be in a place where, you know what I'm saying, that shit becomes a part of us. And, you know, these people trigger any type of, you know, like I've heard people say, you know what, they are so fed up with Clarissa's ass. You see what I'm saying? And so am I. I'm tired of seeing her on my shit too. You see what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? So tired. Like, I am just so sick and tired of Clarissa. I'm so fucking tired of seeing her. Like, why you keep doing it? It's the same shit. I don't appreciate this. I don't appreciate this. You gotta stop. Clarissa, she gotta be stopped. Papoose gotta be stopped. Why y'all doing this? Like, you know, dude, don't this, doesn't it sound like a little bit insane? Because really, at the end of the day, it's easy as 1, 2, 3. It's easy as logging off your computer or turning off your TV. Like, you see what I'm saying? It's easy as that. Like, seriously, if it was that detrimental, you see what I'm saying? All you gotta do is log out, boo. That's all y'all gotta do. You know what I'm saying? But nah. Yeah, you know, there's an addiction there. You see what I'm saying? And no judgment. I'm just saying entertainment is addictive. It's addictive. I get it. It's addictive, you know? It's addictive. Now, let's see what we got here, you guys. So, here, it says this. These secret societies uses, you know, all this negative energy and all this bullshit, all this attention, you know, as I'm going to keep saying, because this is a big part of deprogramming the stage, you guys. You know what I'm saying? In order to know why it needs to be why it needs to be deprogrammed, okay, you need to know what the agenda and what the mission is, okay? What's the intention behind deprogramming this motherfucking shit? Okay? That's first and foremost. You see? So, you know, these secret societies and these corporations and all this shit, right? They use these people to focus. They use this to focus. Sorry, you guys. You know, these secret societies uses this focus to harvest idolatry louche. Okay? Which is what you guys are giving them. Idolatry louche. You see what I'm saying? When you idolize them, this, that, and the third, or whatever the case may be, when you up there, you know, you got people up here, you know, defending this whack ass bitch, Clarissa. Oh, y'all just hating. They be all up in the comments and shit. Oh, y'all just hating on Clarissa. Why y'all be see then y'all always trying to bring a black woman down? It be our own kind. It be our own people trying to do this. You know what I'm saying? Why y'all talking about Clarissa like that and shit? Let her live. Y'all just jealous and shit like that. See, you know what I'm saying? Y'all jealous of her. Y'all just won't let her live. Oh, she's a beautiful person. Why y'all doing this to her? And all this other bullshit. Oh, well, you know what I'm saying? Y'all wrong as hell. Why y'all doing and all this dumb shit? Like, shut the fuck up. Cause y'all just as fucking bugged the fuck out as fucking Clarissa ass. If y'all can't see, and I'm talking about on the surface level, for those who are invested in this shit, the fact that y'all can't seem to understand why people are calling her dumb ass out. You see what I'm saying? On those levels like that. Y'all come up in people's comments talking about, calling people haters and this, that, and all this other shit because they going in on Clarissa. Why not? The bitch is clearly a fucking demon. What the fuck are you talking about? Her behavior is hideous. Her spirit is dark. I can see demons all around this bitch. That's why, you know what I'm saying, I try my best to not even look or listen to this broad. Because she's satanic as fuck. Let's be clear about that shit. Let's be clear about that. There's a reason why. People try to say, oh yeah, because she's with a married man and all that. All right, yeah, she got with a married man, whatever. So I guess for me to entertain this fake script or whatever, okay? So let's just say that, the beast marriage certificate is actually some shit to value. Okay. Let's just say for a minute that, you know what I'm saying? You know, the beast system fucking, paperwork, marriage license and paperwork and all that shit. You see what I'm saying? Is ordained by the Lord or whatever the fuck, right? Let's just say that is the case. You see what I'm saying? Okay. Well, you know, yeah. Now, aside from the fact that, you know, she's fucking with a married man. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, you know, which I'm seeing a lot of you don't care about that or whatever the fuck. You know, you don't see nothing wrong with that or whatever in the situation. You see some of you anyway, you know, or whatever. I'm talking about the ones of you who are so appalled by this. You see what I'm saying? Because you got people out here who have been married for fucking years, for decade after decade, who chose not to get a divorce, who are still married, who've been separated for 20, 30, 40 fucking years. Still married on paper, but have not probably even seen or even fucking heard from each other. And that's their choice to do that if they fucking want to. And like I said on a previous video, I do not approve or agree with anybody interfering in marriages, whether it's a government marriage or a real marriage. If someone is in a relationship, in a connection, in a relationship with someone, do not interfere. Do not interfere. I care more about the relationship because I feel like the girlfriend, especially they living together, sharing a life together, loving each other, is just as important as the bro who got a fucking piece of paper. I've been married for over 20 fucking years and separated for about what? 16? Not to tell my business. I'm just saying I'm still legally married to the bitch ass nigga that I married. You see? So I'm just saying we both moved on. The fuck? And you can't tell me. I know my connection with the Most High, with the Great Mother. But I value something more than some vows that a white man told me I need to have for me to be royal or for me to be what y'all call blessed or whatever the hell. My shit surpasses that. My soul is beyond fucking contracts that man give you. But see, that's the problem. A lot of people so focused on, you know what I'm saying? Fucking contracts and laws and all this shit that man gave y'all, getting it misconstrued with the true creator and the nature of shit and how we supposed to be moving out here. But I didn't mean to go on a tangent over there. You see what I'm saying? But some of us are not thinking on that type of level because you got people, you know what I'm saying, or whatever, who are in marriages and still doing wicked ass shit. The fuck up out of here. Still doing wicked ass shit to people. Nobody want to hear that shit. So like I said, no, I don't condone no motherfucking bitch because that's what it would be. Any bitch who would interfere in a relationship, you know what I'm saying, and break a couple up. If you see another woman or you see a couple in a relationship, I don't care what's going on or how bad you want them. Don't do that because karma is a bitch. Whether you married or not. Respect people. Respect shit. And you know what I'm saying? And Clarissa is a piece of fucking work. She's an evil ass bitch. That's what she is. No fucking morals. No respect. Low self-esteem. A fucking liar. She's a pathological fucking liar. This bitch got issues, okay? Matter of fact, I don't even know why she's even free to roam this bitch freely out here. Like, you know what I'm saying? Didn't her cousin say that she got some issues and shit or whatever? She out here just doing the most and shit. Somebody need to get the straight jackets and all that. Get the straight jackets and all that for this chick. Whatever. So she need to be stopped. Like how she said people need to be stopped. She need to be stopped. You see what I'm saying? Because now she leaking over and shit. She leaking over and shit, you know, to the children, the young people and all that. Get her the fuck up out of here. Get her the fuck up out of here. Now, let's talk real quick about, before I get up out of here, the intent behind this shit. You see what I'm saying? Let's talk about the ritual intent. Okay? For bringing these fucking fake ass relationships. For them bringing these people together in these fake ass scripted relationships that y'all be swooning over and shit. That y'all be upset over and shit. Oh my god, I can't believe that Papoose and Remy are not together anymore. Oh my god. I can't believe it. You guys were like the modern day this and y'all ghetto love, black love, I can't believe it. And, whatever. Like, you know what I'm saying? For you guys. No shade. I'm just saying. For you guys who can't understand it. or have a problem understanding why they would do this. Well, why would they do that? Why would they bring people together if they're not really in love? Like, what are they going to get out of that? Why would they do that? Like, the fact that some people will even ask that without really thinking, you know what I'm saying? Well, without even going through their mind and using common sense and go to the depths of their mind to even come up with some suggestions of their own of why they would do this is beyond me. Okay. All right. But one of the reasons why they do this shit is to direct the bloodline. Okay. Number one, to direct the bloodline. Prevent organic babies that the order doesn't own. They pair these people up. Just like I said, they pair these rappers up with the same rapper girlfriends and shit. You see what I'm saying? And it's not a whole lot of them. That's why they pass these bitches around and shit. First the bitch with NBA Youngboy. Now the bitch with, you know what I'm saying, 21 Savage. Or, you see what I'm saying? That first the bitch was with Lil Wayne. Now the bitch with Nipsey Hussle or whatever. You see? Like, they pass these same, you know, rest in peace to him. You know, they pass the same bitches around because they are already embedded already. And sometimes they will lie and tell you that these couples were high school lovers and all this shit. They'll even go as far as creating fake photos when they were younger together and shit. Like how they did, cause they do this. The CIA, they do shit like this. Like how they did, Barack Obama and his husband, Michael Obama, aka Michelle Obama. You see what I'm saying? How they did the fake, you know, how they do the fake photos and shit. How they do the Photoshop pictures and shit. How they had these fucking transgender celebrities and shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like Megan Thee Stallion and shit, people like that shit. How they make their childhood pictures look like they were little girls and shit. Listen, they showed you all on, what's the name of the movie with Denzel Washington? And for those of you who haven't seen the movie Manchurian Candidate, that's my shit by Denzel Washington. If y'all haven't seen that, y'all need to check that shit out because it basically it'll show you the type of shit that the FBI and the CIA, right? The type of shit that these people, it shows you the extent these people will go to keep this show on a fucking road, to keep fooling and tricking y'all that this reality is real and that these people are real and that their storyline, you see what I'm saying? And all of that bullshit that they kick to the people is real. In that movie and shit, they show when somebody came to do something or whatever. I don't know. I forgot. It's been so long since I watched it. I think it was towards the end, maybe. I'm not sure. But, you know, they had somebody come who did a crime or who was about to do a crime, did a crime, or they did something, right? Or whatever. Then they show, you know what I'm saying, the military industrial complex or the government or whoever was behind the scenes looking at the footage camera. You see what I'm saying? You know how, like, you know, places got like camera and shit, like airports and stuff. They got the cameras and then they got people in the back. You know, like, you know, doing the surveillance, making sure everything is on the up and up. In the movie, they show motherfuckers and shit, you know, on a computer, taking the image that was caught on the camera and editing the motherfucking picture, editing the fucking video. You see what I'm saying? They literally edit the video. You know what I'm saying? It's been so long. I don't know, they did something. I don't know if they took something, a book bag or off of them or something they did. They altered it. Just like that. Just like that. They altered the fucking video. So I'm saying that to say, y'all, you know how they say seeing is believing? Not in this day and time, it ain't. Okay? Not in this day. Seeing is not believing. Knowing might be believing. But in this day and time, seeing is not fucking believing. Because these motherfuckers got more tricks. You see what I'm saying? These motherfuckers got more tricks and more fucking treats than any fucking body. Okay? So that's what that is. They do, you know what I'm saying? That they direct the bloodline. They do this to direct the bloodline. Prevent organic babies that the order doesn't own. And like I said, when these celebrities have children, these A and B celebrities or who, you know, politicians and, you know, all these motherfuckers who took the oath, basically, right? when they have children, whether they give that children up as a sacrifice or not, they are born a sacrifice any fucking way. You know what I'm saying? Because they will ritualistically own your child if they have a specific job for that child. You understand? And if that child's genetics or DNA line up with what they want to use the child for. You understand what I'm saying? Or what indigenous people or tribe or people, you see what I'm saying? That this child may be connected to. You see what I'm saying? For instance, you have Papoose ass who went to Africa, who went to Sierra Leone, right? Y'all know, y'all heard about when this nigga went to Sierra Leone. Did y'all know that this, cause they showed the video of Papoose up there in Africa, how they was like chant his name, and he tried to, when he was on Vlad, he tried to make it seem like, oh yeah, they got a whole song and a whole, whole this for me and shit. And he had them on, he had the people on camera talking about some Papoose, 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 Papoose on some bullshit. You know what? That shit is straight from that shit seemed like it's straight from the colonist playbook. For the colonizers playbook and shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? For these, for some of the, the later ancestors and shit, who thought they were seeing like spaceships and aliens and shit sometimes and shit like that, but they was really seeing like these crackers and shit coming to the islands on a plane or an air balloon. and they made them gods. You see what I'm saying? Like some of these people from like the Pacific Islands and shit like that and shit, they got it to whereas, you know what I'm saying? These motherfuckers, they had one video I was watching of this one island tribe or whatever, right? I think it was an island tribe. These motherfuckers, they built a whole fucking, cause they've been cut off from society. They built a whole fucking airplane type of thing with wood. And they was worshiping that shit. They made like a plane, like the old school style airplanes. They actually made one and then they started worshiping that shit. You see what I'm saying? They was worshiping that shit. You know why? Cause that, you know what I'm saying? In later history, their ancestors or whoever, right? Obviously once they created planes in a modern sense, right? Had these motherfuckers come to the island on a fucking plane. Apparently, you see what I'm saying, is around that time when they first started doing their planes and shit, because it looked like it could be one of the fucking first planes and shit, right? They see these motherfuckers come on the islands in the fucking planes. You see what I'm saying? These people, Pacific Islands, they didn't have no TV, radio, and all this shit like that. So to them, they thinking they seeing Jesus Christ or some shit. They think they seeing Allah or Jesus or whatever. You see what I'm saying? Just because a motherfucker came from the sky. But see, because one thing I do know, these people study the sky. You understand? They study the celestials. They study the stars. And the sun and the weather and nature in general. So they always look to the sky. So when they seen these fucking, whoever these motherfuckers were, these crackers, whoever the fuck they were, coming landing on somebody else's shit. You see what I'm saying? To exploit these people. Now, these people thinking they gods and shit. You see what I'm saying? Like this shit is just crazy. Ain't no different with Papoose ass. When he was in Sierra Leone, you know that trip he went when he left the Clarissa ass home and shit. That was the same trip with the 34 military hospital that he went. That's gonna be their new fucking Nephilim baby and transhumanism lab at the 34 military hospital. And just, that I spoke on in a previous video, in case y'all wondering why the fuck Papoose and Ruben Branson of Win Records was over there in that goddamn hospital at 34 military hospital. Got photos of them, you know what I'm saying? Got photos of them in the fucking room, you know what I'm saying? In a room that looks like an emergency room with like hospital beds and shit lined up, whatever. Do you know why, guys? Because of what I'm saying here. With Papoose, you guys, and Ruben Branson going to Sierra Leone, he also made a trip. Okay, while they were over there, They also made another trip. I think it was I don't know if it was Cameroon. It wasn't just Sierra Leone. They went somewhere else too. I forgot where that was. But when he went over there, they had Papoose to come there, and they actually made Papoose the chief of that particular tribe. I don't know if some of you know this, okay? But they literally labeled on paper, right? They labeled and they ordained Papoose to be the active chief of the Takar people. Let's be fucking clear. Of the Takar people. Why? When it comes to this 34 military hospital, you guys, okay? I know I'm kind of going over, bear with me. When it comes to that 34 military hospital, right? That not Caressa, Papoose and Ruben Branson and Win Records, Khadijah and all of them went to, that they have plans for that hospital. First of all, it was already being used for clandestine activities. You know what I'm saying? Experiments and different technological projects, shit like that. Because that particular spot is on a specific grid. Okay? That hospital is on a specific grid that is astronomically aligned. You see what I'm saying? With an abundant, in lack of a better words, that is in alignment with an abundant of that celestial apex intelligence or energy or codes, right? That they need when they are harvesting their children, their Nephilim children. Okay, they're incorporating newer technology. Okay, because like I said, they've been doing test tube babies and putting them in these things for years, but the reason why they are doing it this way now is because our land, a certain lands on the planet, the Great Mother, actually forced these motherfuckers of shit. You see what I'm saying? In certain realms and in certain spaces. You see what I'm saying? Or whatever, they have to these people, these colonizers and these different governments and shit like that or whatever, right? On some level, they have to, release everything to be a sovereign. This is why you saw Trump going around doing this, that, and the third and all that. A lot of shit may look ugly, this, that, and the third. But spiritually, right? Spiritually, and let's just say spiritually, right? Which is supposed to be physically as well, but you know what I'm saying? In the realms, their time was up to be lords over the lands. Okay, whatever fucking land that you were never meant to be a part of. What you need to do is relinquish whoever all over the world. You need to relinquish it to the indigenous people of that land. Okay? Do they have to put it on the news and put it out there that this is going on? Hell fucking no. They will let it be known. But you won't get a fucking broadcast. For those of you waiting for a fucking, you know what I'm saying, big TV news broadcast for the shit. Ain't gonna happen. Right? So with these new projects, they have other ways now that they're gonna bring in their Nephilim children. Their new apex intelligent children. Because like I said in a previous video, they don't want to fuck with the transhumanism, or whatever, have it half human, half robot type of thing like that. Because those are, they're still going to do that. But the reason that they prefer organic vessels, because right now they're invested in the organic vessels, is because they know they no longer could do what the fuck they want to do with these lands. They cannot colonize these lands anymore. Spiritually and genetically, they cannot unless they get permission from someone who is of the bloodline of that land. Period. Period. We need to be clear about this shit. This is just another one of their fucking ways in of the fucking deception. You see? It ain't no different. Same shit from before. When Papoose went over there, they made him a fucking chief of a tribe. A tribe of the Takar people of Africa when he went over there. Not because he's holy. Not because he's about to be a real chief and be living over there and shit. You see what I'm saying? Making rules and regulations and doing all this. Hell fucking no. Whatever it is a chief's supposed to be, he will never be and he's not going to be. That's not the fucking purpose of it. They went through his fucking bloodline. Okay? And found that he was either a match or a close enough match for him to sign off on them using that land in that area as facilities for these experiments and these projects that they're doing and that they have coming up. So what am I saying? I'm saying Papoose and Ruben Branson of Win Records allegedly, let me say that, allegedly made that trip to Sierra Leone for all clandestine type shit. And what Papoose did, not only is he over here lying and tricking people and deceiving people here, and he's over there signing off. Remember how I said how 50 was the landlord for the whole Shreveport, Louisiana G-Unit Studios thing? Because of that, it ain't no different than what the fuck Papoose doing. This motherfucker just signed off on that area for them to experiment and exploit on those people. Because, you know what I'm saying, they have to do it. They have to, you know what I'm saying, get permission from the land. This is one thing that they have to do now. They have to get permission from those who own that land or the people of that land. And apparently it has to be someone who has other certain connections, because you might say, well, they could just got anybody to do that, put them under my control. They could have got anybody. No, they can't get anybody. They have a system already going on because, allegedly fucking Papoose and Clarissa. You see what I'm saying? They allegedly, let me say that, they allegedly already signed up to give them a fucking Nephilim child already. So their quote unquote Nephilim baby, you guys might be some of, you know what I'm saying? Because they're not, the 34 military hospital is not up and running yet. You see? It was up and running before, but they started renovations. They had a fire, all this shit. You see? But they're about to revamp that shit into some high technology shit with med beds and all type of shit they gonna have. All type of high tech shit. Replacing souls and doing all types of other crazy shit. Violating nature. Okay? Papoose signed off on that shit. Okay? Sold himself out. Sold Clarissa out. And his fucking child that they gonna have together. Know that. So those of you who wondering why they allowing Clarissa to go make a fool and make a mockery and do all this shit. Because she's a sovereign slave. That's why. And they don't give a fuck about boxing. She might do little matches here and there. But Clarissa know what the fuck her assignment is. Her and Papoose, they both know what the fuck their assignment is. This is why neither one of them is not caring too much about boxing. She's showing y'all here and there. She might do a little stunts here, there, whatever. Because that's her area, boxing. But at the end of the day, she has, allegedly, she has been made aware of what her true purpose is. Okay? And that shit don't have nothing to do with boxing at this time. Let's be clear about that shit. So they don't mind her just taking a chill pill and just harvesting you guys as loose and be out here making a fucking fool of herself. Because as long as she got her linguistic handler, Papoose, to make sure that she, that she don't fucking, like, you know what I'm saying, crash out too fucking much and mess up her programming. You see what I'm saying? Or say some shit she shouldn't be saying or whatever. You see what I'm saying? Because they damn make sure they give her a monthly stipend to maintain. You see what I'm saying? Her and Papoose. Oh yeah, allegedly. they definitely get a huge monthly stipend. Okay? So all of you who thinking that Papoose not getting that bread like that, he living on Clarissa, you know, well, it started off that way, but trust me, these motherfuckers, they getting the stipend, honey. They getting a monthly stipend. Why? Because they agreed to allegedly donate a vessel, okay, to these people. Okay? Same thing Beyonce did. Okay? Same thing Rihanna is doing. Okay? Nicki Minaj. I'm just saying allegedly. Don't get mad at me. Allegedly. Alright? So, that's what that is, you guys, you know. So, let's see what we have here. So I said prevent organic babies that the order doesn't own. That. Number 2, also to harmonize the vibration, to sync the masculine and feminine scripts to power the AI. Okay. We all know that I'm on that, you know. Of course they need, you know, masculine and feminine together. Right. You see what I'm saying? But like I said, that's their baseline. That's their baseline protocol right there. You understand what I'm saying? That's their baseline. But, you know, like I said, at the end of the day, however they're going to do it, whether it's going to be organically or whether it's going to be non-organically, at the end of the day, okay, they're going to have that balance, because certain things you just cannot bypass. The great mother, you cannot bypass. You know what I'm saying? The womb space, the genetics, that type of shit. The great mother's order. Certain things you can't bypass that. Certain orders, certain laws you do have to abide by. Okay? And that is of the divine feminine and masculine. But best believe and know that the shit is fucking inverted. It should be inverted on some level. Okay? 3, to mock the divine. Like I said. To replace the soulmate connections with the contract mate assignments. These people don't give a fuck about no soulmates. People be up here praising these damn celebrities. They be get hooked up to, oh yeah, they're soulmate. Like for instance, like goddamn Ashanti and goddamn what's his Nelly and shit. You know what I'm saying? Another you know, scripted couple. Cause they all are. You know what I'm saying? So they got, you know, they gave them the redemption script. Goddamn, Ashanti and Nelly got the redemption. They got the ride or die, return to love. You know, if you let them go and they come back, they yours forever script. You see what I'm saying? Fucking Nelly and Ashanti and shit like that. You see what I'm saying? They mock the divine. They replace soulmate connections with contract mate assignments. Isn't that what they did with y'all fake ass versions of marriage? Where y'all gotta stand in front of they child molesting ass priests. You see what I'm saying? To be y'all little whatever, y'all vows and all of that other shit like that. Or stand in front of y'all fucking homosexual child molesting ass pastor in the church to give y'all away. And y'all think it's so fucking holy. Talking about you standing before God and making a commitment before God. No, the fuck you're not. What God you're talking about? What God you're talking about? When y'all don't even know why the fuck y'all together. You don't even know your own purpose on this fucking earth. So how you got a divine union with someone? Why the fuck? Y'all don't even know why y'all need each other or useful to each other. But yet y'all get y'all ordained by God to be in this marriage. They don't give a fuck about soulmate connections. It's about contract mate assignments. Let's be clear. Okay? And the purpose of this is genetic securitization, you guys. Genetic securitization. Genetic security, okay? They don't want organic love, quote unquote, organic love, because they can't they can't admin to it. Admin to it. You see what I'm saying? They can't tap into it and manipulate it as much as they could. They're fucking fake ass relationships that they give you guys. Okay? They force the relationships. They force them shits, right? So that they can own the blood deed of the children. Did y'all hear what the fuck I said? Excuse me, what the fuck I just read here. Let me read it again. The purpose of genetic securitization is that they don't want organic love because they can't admin or control it or manipulate it, right? Or enslave it, so to speak, right? They force the relationships, you guys. They force these celebrity relationships so they can own the blood deed of their children. Let's be clear. So they can own the blood deed. Like a house deed. So they can own the blood deed of their damn children. Y'all better wake the fuck up. For all you people who want to be so famous so fucking bad. You motherfuckers out here trying to get a record deal. You want to rap, act, all this shit's cool. Just know what the fuck you're getting yourself into. Alright? So, let's go over, before I get up out of here. 1 second. Here's what I want to do, you guys. One second. So let's just go over real quick before I get up out of here. You know, just some little examples I had looked up a few examples and shit, right? Because, like, really, you know, sometimes I don't be knowing who the fuck together or not together sometimes, you know what I'm saying? So, you know. But I looked up a few examples of these fucking... Because really, you know, if they all in your face, 9 times out of 10, if they all in your face every fucking day, all on your TV screen, all on your radio, all in the video, or whatever the case may be, you know what I'm saying, or whatever, then 9 times out of 10, you know what I'm saying, their relationship was scripted, okay? All right, and just in case you guys didn't hear me before, yes, Clarissa Shields and Papoose relationship is overly fucking scripted. If anybody didn't have a motherfucking scripted relationship, it was their motherfucking ass. Oh, and his relationship with Remy Ma was also scripted too. Do not ever get it fucked up. Understand that shit, okay? But as you can see, the order instructed, allegedly, let me say that, allegedly the order instructed 50's bitch ass. Right? To get his you know what I'm saying, his you know, one of his slaves, like, you know what I'm saying, in case y'all didn't know, because, you know what I'm saying, Remy Ma, you know, a lot of these celebrities have like an OG, you know what I'm saying, kind of like a head handler OG, you know what I'm saying, and you don't have to see him with them every motherfucking day or at all, whatever. But when 50 Cent ass, right, was able to get that early release for Remy Ma, a part of that deal, allegedly, let me say allegedly, a part of that deal, a part of that contract was for him to be her main handler. Let's be clear about that shit. This is why when Remy Ma got out of jail, you see what I'm saying? They got they got the photo, little video and photo. Y'all can pull up on the internet of Remy Ma. She had just fresh out of fucking jail. Fresh out of jail. You see her in a motherfucking car, sitting talking to a fucking 50 Cent. And then you can see across the street, Papoose across the street some fucking where, talking to the next nigga. Talking to some nigga and shit outside. Like, what? Hold up. Like, you just got, and from what I'm hearing, she was like fresh out of jail. You see what I'm saying? Like, I'm talking about like, yo, fresh out. And you fresh out of jail. Before you go see your child, before you go home, you know, and get yourself together, be with your family, you meet the fuck up with fucking 50 Cent. You got a car meeting with 50 fucking Cent. While your husband standing all the way fucking across the street, he's not involved in the conversation. He over there talking to somebody else. Why? Because that's her handler. And 50 was the one who got the fucking say so. Because she answered to 50. Let's be clear about that shit. And Papoose know that. He know that. So he had to stay in his fucking place. Let's be clear. Alright? So yeah. He was, you know what I'm saying, Remy's fucking handler. Now he's, like I said, now he's Clarissa's handler. Alright? Talking about Papoose. Alright? Blueface and Krishan Rock. They're not together. I know. But I'm bringing them up because they are considered, you guys, the chaos script. The chaos script. Okay? Very chaotic. All over the place. Very toxic. Very fucking chaotic, yo. Okay? Right? This was a frequency flattening experiment with these two. Okay? The Order used their toxic high voltage relationship to harvest anger louche from the 85%. Meaning from, the basic world out here. You know what I'm saying? Just the basic NPC sheep people out here. You know what I'm saying? Who think their lives are real or whatever. You know what I'm saying? That's what they were used for. You know what I'm saying? A frequency flattening experiment, basically. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, the Order used their toxic, at that time, they were together, used their toxic high voltage relationship to harbor anger louche from the 85%. Because, back then, or whatever, at that time, when he was still in each other's presence, fucking with each other. You see what I'm saying? A lot of people got upset by that shit. Because, he was treating her any kind of way. She was always crying and going through shit. They was always fighting. All this crazy shit was going on. And it was just like, damn, people were in the outrage, stuff like that. That's mad louche. You know what I'm saying? That's that good grade. That's that good grade louche right there. You see what I'm saying? That's that exquisite. You know what I'm saying? That's that exquisite louche. You see what I'm saying? That's that gourmet louche shit. You see what I'm saying? Top notch. Anger louche. You see what I'm saying? From the people. It was a biometric stress test designed to see how much trauma, you know what I'm saying, a Baltimore Medina Node audience would tolerate. You see what I'm saying? How much they would tolerate or whatever from these two clowns. Oh, excuse me, whatever. I'm just saying. A lot of you, you know what I'm saying, looking at, they got you looking at the new Krishan and stuff. She doing her boxing, stuff like that. I will be watching that match because I love boxing and stuff like that. A lot, she got her whole new, religious thing going on. That's another program. Ain't no difference than the program that they gave Clarissa Shields. A lot of them use Bibles during their MK Ultra programming. A lot of them as the programming device, basically. You see what I'm saying? As the software. That's what they, they'll use, they'll use Islam, they'll use Christianity, whatever. They'll use the shit. They'll even use, you know what I'm saying? Like I said in another video, they'll even use the goddamn supreme mathematics and the 120 lessons from the Nation of Gods and Earth. They use that shit too. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, shit, whole rap industry, the majority of the early rap used that damn script, was using those, that linguistic script. You see what I'm saying? And so, yeah, that's the script. That's the script. The Nation of Gods and Earth is the script Papoose used. That's the basis of his handling programming. That was the basis of it. With Remy and Clarissa Shields. Allegedly. Let me say that. So, when it came in the case of Blueface and, Krishan Rock and all that, it was like I said, it was a biometric stress test. That's what that was. Okay. Lori Harvey, which this is old shit, but this is what I pulled up here. Lori Harvey and Michael B. Jordan. when they was fucking around. Now, mind you, this bitch was passed around. You know what I'm saying? This dude, Lori Harvey, it is what the fuck it is. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Oh, they love him. You know what I'm saying? They love him. They love Lori Harvey. Very beautiful. He's very beautiful. Very, very beautiful and attractive. You know what I'm saying? But you can tell, you know what I'm saying? You can tell the ones that's probably laying pipe good. You know what I'm saying? These transgenders who laying good pipe. Because a lot of these transgenders, they be so fucking beautiful, just like Lori Harvey. But some of you think that all of these celebrities, they get rid of their package. You know what I'm saying? That they get their sex reassignment surgery just because they look highly feminine. No. In the industry, no. No. Especially if they paying for these people to get these transitions. No, they actually want them to keep their penises. Because it's a part of the storylines and the cover up. Because a lot of these video vixens, a lot of these rapper girlfriends and actor girlfriends and wives and shit are transgender. But guess what? They put these people, these girlfriends and wives in place. You see what I'm saying? They put them in place as, you know what I'm saying, you know, some kind of beard, even though they're not the beard. I'm just saying, because they used to use beards. You know, there was times when they did use some beards and stuff, which are people pretending to be, you know what I'm saying, in a relationship with a homosexual person on purpose, you know. They used to do that. But then a lot of these celebrities started getting caught out there. A lot of these rappers and singers and celebrities and sports stars started getting caught out there from being with these transgenders and, you know, having and being homosexual on the low. So they needed to put a stop to that. You see what I'm saying? They needed to put a stop to that somewhere down the line. So what did they do? They went on ahead and gave them transgender girlfriends and wives. Am I saying all celebrities and sports stars' wives and girlfriends are transgender? Of course not. But the higher you are, you see what I'm saying? The higher you are in fame and influence and impact like that, then it's safe to say 9 times out of 10, your wife, your girlfriend, your husband, whatever, especially, you know what I'm saying, the transgender women, okay? Most likely, probably is transgender. Not all, but most. Okay? I'm just saying. They allow them to keep their package because they screwing and busting down these damn celebrities and shit at home. These celebrities was tired of getting busted in the alleyways and shit. You see what I'm saying? Y'all know how many times Eddie Murphy got busted and shit. You got Chiggy. You see what I'm saying? You got Mr. C. Rest in peace and shit. You know what I'm saying? You a bunch of these fucking rappers and shit and these actors was getting busted, yo. Picking up they trannies and shit. You see what I'm saying? They got tired of that shit. They got tired of these niggas, these people getting busted. So they had to come up with some new shit. We need to get them some girlfriends. How about we get them some girlfriends and wives that already got their package. That's gonna keep their package. That way we can flaunt their ass in front of the fucking camera. We can flaunt them in front of the camera on TV like a nice happy couple. You see what I'm saying? So you could think they straight. So you could think that they straight, right? But meanwhile, behind the scenes, they home getting bent over and shit. They wife, you know what I'm saying? They husband wives got their ass bent over and shit. You know what I'm saying? All in the comfort of their own fucking homes. So they don't gotta be in the alleyways no more. They in the comfort of their own fucking homes and shit. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? So yeah, anyway, so the Lori Harvey, Michael B. Jordan, when that shit popped off. You see what I'm saying? I'm just saying they love some Lori Harvey. Lori Harvey probably was packing like that. Cause you know what I'm saying? It wasn't just Michael B. Jordan who was feeling Lori Harvey. That she was passed around. I heard she was with Future. I heard she was with a bunch of she was with Diddy. Like, yo, like really? You know Diddy, he don't fuck with nothing but transgender. And if he do fuck with a female or whatever, that's just for his fucking fantasy to watch them get fucked. Plain and simple. That's just for a fantasy or some other shit he got going on. But, you know, Diddy loved his trans. Well, he liked his men too. He liked all of it. Diddy loved all of it. You see what I'm saying? But anytime these rap niggas and these rappers and all these people could get their hand on a sexy ass female transgender who still got their package, man, yo, they all be on it like a pack of wolves, yo, fighting over them. You see what I'm saying? That's why you be like, damn, she a hoe. This bitch been with all these motherfuckers or whatever. Yeah. Because the word probably got around. Word got around like, yeah, damn. You know what I'm saying? They holding shit down there. You see what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying, right? Lori Harvey probably was breaking their back down. The intent. This was, when it was going down, that relationship was a sovereign glimmer merger. The order paired the golden / model batch frequency of Lori Harvey with the tier 1 Hollywood hardware of Michael B. Jordan. The status. The relationship was audited as a 2-year fixed term contract. Once the Aurotech filters had extracted enough envelope to stabilize their individual brands, the order triggered the scheduled system exit, aka the breakup. Okay, same thing they did with Papoose and Remy. Okay, and a lot of other fake ass relationships who they have them break up. Sierra and Russell Williams, the redemption script, the intent. This is the spiritual fatherhood script. After the messiness of this bitch ass nigga Future, you see what I'm saying, or whatever, the order moved Sierra into a high order compliance, right? A high order compliance, making her a breeder and pairing with Russell Wilson. Okay. They act as what they call the sovereign matriarch and patriarch. Their version. Okay? Their version of the sovereign matriarch and patriarch, right? For the 20 or around the 2026, because it was earlier than that, but let's just say 2026 grid, you know what I'm saying, or whatever, because they're still active. They're still together. They're still active. They're still on script. Okay. Their image is used pretty much to soothe the 85% and to accepting, you know what I'm saying, the order's ledger as blessed. You see what I'm saying? To accept that ledger, into accepting the ledger as blessed. Oh, they're blessed. Oh, this is I aspire to be like, oh, I need me a Russell Wilson. Oh, I need me a Sierra. Oh, they like the new example of black love, you know? Oh, they so respectful. Oh, Russell Wilson is raising Future's son because Future a bitch ass nigga and shit. You know, oh, he's a real man, you know, whatever. Like, you know, they have to have their positive relationships because they're using these people. If they present them as positive, they're using them in other ways behind the scenes. And even if they're not, let's just say they're not using them in all kind of crazy shit behind the scenes. Most likely, but they're still doing their rituals. You see what I'm saying? But yet, if you can, if you're focusing your energy on them, or whatever the case may be, you know, or whatever, then yes, you know, you're definitely gonna get off on that as well. You know what I'm saying? If you're focusing your energy, because trust me, you know, just like you have people out here who are, you know, supportive of the relationship, you still got haters who don't like love. Who don't appreciate, you know, real marriage, not that fake shit. You got people who don't appreciate unions between man and woman like that. You see what I'm saying? Couples being together and raising their families and stuff like that or whatever. You really got sick people out here who take offense to that. And they'll say all types of weird ass, disrespectful, hateful type shit. Future being one of them with his fucking faggot ass, with his punk ass. I don't like Future. Just like I don't like 50 Cent. I don't like Future. Okay? He's like a real live bitch. Okay? Anyway, I digress. Ashanti and Nelly, the nostalgia reset. Like I mentioned earlier, okay? This is a neural reset, basically, for the 1996 to 2003 frequency, okay? Because like I said, they deal with frequency time frames, okay? And so, you know, they were previously together before, you guys. But by bringing these two back together, they're rewriting the memory of the indigenous sovereign program. You understand what I'm saying? Because they have to do this ever so often with new faces, and if not new faces, you see what I'm saying, whatever that couple brought to the table in regard to, you know what I'm saying, ritual or energy or genetics or whatever. You know what I'm saying? If they choose to bring like the, Nelly and Ashanti is one of those rare cases where they broke them up and then brought them back together. It was a reason why they did that, and it wasn't for no fucking love. Okay, let's be clear about that. Okay, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not gonna sit here and say why. I mean, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I haven't figured that part out yet as to what their energy is reading for that. But I mean, I would assume that, and this is my assumption or my opinion. Maybe, you know what I'm saying? Maybe what's his name? Ashanti didn't want to make any other sacrifice of her family and stuff. So a lot of times these celebrities, when they don't want to sacrifice their family members, they'll just agree to have a child and make that child, bring that child into the world. That child will be their sacrifice. Because, you know what I'm saying? They've already did the rituals to bring in that apex demonic energy and these archonic entities into their children. And it starts before the child is actually, it starts before the woman actually becomes pregnant, because they have to prep the womb. Okay? If in fact it's an organic woman, because, if it's not an organic woman, you see what I'm saying? They still use their genetics, you guys. You see what I'm saying? They still use the genetics. And, as a human, whether you carry your child or not, if they create a replica of you or give you a surrogate to have a child because you were born a male, I'm not saying that's Ashanti. I'm just saying, you know what I'm saying? If that's the case obviously it's the case with a lot of these celebrities who sell their children, right? Some of them who pretend to be women and they're not, end up having children. And a lot of times when you see these children, for the most part, look exactly like they motherfucking asses. That is the throw off there, really. You see what I'm saying? That child looked just like them. So even that alone will tell, it'll say like, oh, well, even if you had any doubts or any type of, you know what I'm saying, assumption that this person may be transgender, the fact that they had, and even if you had a doubt that maybe, they could have adopted a child or, whatever the case may be, when you see this child come into the world and this child looks exactly like the quote unquote mother, it kind of disarms, you see what I'm saying, or deter the onlookers. You see what I'm saying? From, wondering any further or whatever, because the average person don't even get that far to even, you know what I'm saying, looking into these people like that, or accepting the fact that they are transgender. If they in fact are, they don't even get that far. You see what I'm saying? They don't even get to the point where they even have to wonder, you know what I'm saying, is that their child or not? Like, you know what I'm saying? So anyway, they're doing the whole nostalgia thing with that. They're surprised, when it comes to Shanti and Nelly, they're surprised reconciliation and pregnancy are linguistic anchors used to sync the older generation with the new Nephilim air timeline. Okay. They brought here up for me Drake and various regional assets. I don't know what the fuck this is. Talking about Drake and various regional assets. I fuck with Drake's music, but this is not appealing to me. Okay, so yeah, that's not appealing to me. Okay. Okay, well, let's talk about Cardi B. The high voltage matriarch script. Okay? Cardi B. The high voltage matriarch script. Right? Cardi B's cycle of births with Offset, the Atlanta / Migos, whatever, node, fame, whatever you want to call it, is audited. They're audited as a loose, turbulent script. A little different. Similar, but a little different, from the Blueface Krishan Rock. You know what I'm saying? Chaotic shit. Okay? You know, just a little different. Just a little bit. You know, they're audited as they're audited to display the loose turbulence script or carry out the loose turbulence script. Okay. Her pregnancies, you know, culture wave, her children, beautiful children. Right. And the 2024 to 2026 cycles are used to reset the Bronx Atlanta frequency. Okay. You see what I'm saying? Because like I said, they use these children as the headliners for new frequencies. You see what I'm saying? Just like they're, you know, if you have celebrities, you have people who are celebrities now who may have parents who were celebrities back in the 70s or some shit or whatever, the 80s or whatever have you, right? Yeah, that's because their parents, while they were being a fucking industry slave, right? Their parents already sold them out just from being born, being a celebrity and just having a child, being born. Their parents, you sold the fuck out before you even get here with these people, you see. And so because your parents did that, because your parents were celebrity, they took an oath, sold your motherfucking ass out. Now you're going to be the new version of what your parent was. You're going to be the new loose harvester that's going to fit in with that current time. You see what I'm saying? That current generation or whatever have you. You see what I'm saying? And it's it's definitely guaranteed because they went through the rituals before the child was even here. So these babies, the essence of these children, they start building them in rituals before the person even quote unquote gets pregnant, because they have to do the chanting and they have to actually summon these children. They have to summon these entities. They have to summon these entities from the demonic realm. And they have to also coincide with the original soul. This is some high level occult shit, you guys. They call it sex magic. This is some high level occult shit that these people do. Moving on. The messiness. Unlike Rihanna's imperial script, Cardi's is designed to be chaotic. The constant breakups and reconciliations generate high voltage drama, which keeps the 85% you guys who think their relationships are real, keeps you guys distracted, while the order perform biometric data mining on the urban area nodes that they represent. Okay, now since they mentioned Rihanna, let's see what they're saying about Rihanna and ASAP. Okay, or ASAPA. Anyway, okay, so they're saying they would have the Aboriginal Empress script. Okay, Rihanna's relationship with ASAP Rocky. Okay, aka Lord Flacco, whatever. He's a linguistic handler also. Not as prominent as Papoose, but nevertheless still a linguistic handler, okay? And, a lot of the rappers are. Not all of them, okay? The one who can at least do a little something, right? Is the golden standard for the Bayesian to East Coast New York frequency sync, okay? The breeder protocol. Rihanna is a breeder. I mentioned this before in a previous video. She is a breeder. They assigned her to be a breeder. That's why she keeps popping them out back to back to back to back to back. Because I know plenty of you have asked yourself. A lot of you probably think it's organic. Why, Rihanna gave up her career. She still had a popping career all this time. Why would she do that? Just to what I'm saying? She's gaining weight. She's being pregnant, locked down. Is she ever going to do music again? Why would she do that? I know it's cool. It's beautiful to have kids, but I'm saying this, that, and the third. Listen, these people are controlled assets. I keep telling you guys this. Okay? They don't have children for the reasons we have children. Okay? And they're not worried about their fucking music career. Half of these motherfuckers who get reassigned are happy as shit. Because you know what I'm saying? The ones who get reassigned and who are like off the camera a lot and kind of behind the scenes, maybe some photo ops here and there. Right? But the ones who are behind the scenes, they was hitting, you know, like Rihanna was on fire and shit her whole fucking career. Right? A lot of these celebrities do not give a shit about that because they know the shit that they have to do and go through to even maintain that. They have to go through a lot of shit, you guys. They still got to do their rituals and their little stuff or whatever. But being a breeder, it frees up some of the shit they got to do. You see what I'm saying? Some of these celebrities, they purposely even try to get fat, thinking that's going to work because a lot of these elite people who they prostitute for and who they have sex with and they sell to them like straight up prostitutes. A lot of them sometimes they don't want no fat Rihanna. They don't want no fat Lil Kim. They don't want no fat Beyonce or whatever. They don't want nobody. They don't want the ones that's out of shape. They want the fantasy that they're used to when they would come to the White House and get fucked, or that when they would come to goddamn Epstein Island to get fucked, or when they would come wherever the fuck these elites at, under the Getty in Cali or wherever the fuck they at, the Vatican, wherever the fuck they at, getting fucked. They want the same person that's on the fucking movies and in the fucking videos and on TV. That's the sex object they want to see, that they want to have sex with. They don't want no fat ass celebrity who just had a bunch of children. So they feel like if they gain weight and do all this extra shit, that's like their ticket. You see what I'm saying? They don't got to go and do all this extra shit. And although they still, you see what I'm saying? They still have to do their little rituals and all this shit. It's not on the level a lot of times sometimes, depending on who it is. Because they might still have to do that shit. It depends on who the person is. You see what I'm saying? And what their roles are, what their script entails. You see? But a lot of them, I know from my past studies that some of them try to pull that. Some of these celebrities try to pull that shit. Try to become all unattractive and you know what I'm saying? Because, you know what I'm saying? Because they know they were prostitutes. They were getting strong, you know what I'm saying? For all of you who think that Beyonce was so high and mighty for her not to get fucked, y'all got the game fucked up, clearly, because that bitch still a fucking slave. She's still a fucking slave. Still a fucking slave. She still gotta open her legs. You understand what I'm saying? And all that. She's still a fucking slave. She still get her ass beat. Gotta get her ass beat. Still gotta drink blood. Still gotta unalive babies, allegedly. All that shit. They still gotta do this shit. I don't give a fuck if she is a high priestess in that shit. They all have to make sure that they continue to pay their fucking dues. Plain and simple. Because their God requires it, you guys. Their God requires that. Okay? It required that. So, Rihanna, the breeder protocol. After achieving global aesthetic dominance, the order shifted her script from performer to divine mother. Again, their version of divine mother. Let's be clear about that. Okay? Because the divine mother, based on the great mother and the dragon mothers. Yeah. You shitting me. You shitting me. Not related. Not related at all. Let's be clear. The intent. Her back-to-back pregnancies starting in 2022 are viewed as frequency hardening by producing multiple heirs from a New York East Coast alpha male like Rocky, and you saying I don't know about no alpha male, okay? That's where, you know what I'm saying, motherfuckers be having it fucked up. I ain't no fucking alpha male, you kidding me? But maybe his energy is. You see what I'm saying? So these things could be, in the spirit realm, in the occult world, in the metaphysical world. You see what I'm saying? You can't ignore the energy of something. So even though this motherfucker, you've been hearing rumors about this motherfucker, I could have sworn he came out as gay some years ago, or bisexual or something. This nigga, the way he been dressing and shit throughout the years and all that other shit. You see what I'm saying? Like, come on. No masculine fucking man be doing that type of shit like that. You understand what I'm saying? So, but maybe there's an energy on their level that they use. Like I said, it's not the same thing. Their feminine and masculine isn't that divine feminine and divine masculine of the great mother. Let's be clear. Okay? All right? So again, her back-to-back pregnancies starting in 2022 are viewed as frequency hardening by producing multiple heirs from a New Yorkish, East Coast alpha male, which, alpha not, whatever. It possibly could be alpha female, but whatever. Alpha male, like Rocky, ASAP Rocky, okay? And, Clarissa is securitizing her $1.4 billion hardware for the order. Okay, so basically, yeah, bitch, we giving you billions, make you a billionaire, bitch. You already know what the fuck it is. You know what I'm saying? Keep that shit coming. Keep our goddamn babies coming. You fucking breeder. You know what I'm saying? Keep our shit coming, motherfucker.